Okay, my friends, let's get ourselves some grouped data and figure out how to find the average of it. We learn a couple other things in here too. So let's get a little Google window open and find ourselves. Let's just look for something. Grouped data. Let's see what it comes up with. Maybe we spell it right. Grouped data. Let's do a little image search. We can always pull it from a histogram. Let's see. This looks interesting. Marks. This look interesting. Mean group data, standard deviation group data. I don't know. We'll grab this one, I guess. This is pretty ugly, and we can put it into Excel. And oh, it's a video. To hell with that. I'll just take a picture of the actual distribution, and there we go. We'll get that right there. That's perfect. All right, copy. Yeah, actually, it gives you the formulas right here, but they look kind of nasty. So I'm going to drop the image in Excel. There we go. And then give me a couple seconds here, and let me actually just type this into Excel. I'll speed the video up so you don't have to wait. Okay, that's pretty good, and we actually don't even need that anymore. All we really need is the distribution itself. Okay, so there we go. Pretty good. If you want, we can actually make a histogram of this. We can insert a bar graph. And there's the bars that correspond to these categories. Notice the bottom does not have the correct things. We can fix that by just right-clicking or two-finger clicking in a Mac. Going to Select Data, going to Horizontal Axis Labels, and just selecting the ones we actually want down there. And then hitting OK, and there they show up, and that's pretty good. I'm going to goof around a little bit more. You know, not that this video isn't about making a histogram, but what the hell, let's do it anyway. This is some data I stole. I have no idea what the hell it is. I think it was about grades. I think it was about some kind of grades on some kind of a test, I guess. So that'll do. At least they're grades on a test. And what I've been doing recently with these histograms, I end up deleting the vertical axis and just adding the data labels onto them. I kind of like that better. You can delete these little horizontal lines too. And you know what? What the hell? I'm gonna change the gap width so it's a little more, maybe a little bit more. Maybe I'll knock it down like this. Maybe scooch it really close together. That's actually pretty good right like there. Okay. I spent, what, about a minute and a half now screwing with the histogram and not worrying about the average. Okay. So what is the average of this? Well, median mode, whatever. We can do all three. The mode's pretty simple. Just grab the highest bar. So it's the 70 to 79 bar. If you were actually talking about what value that was, though, we have to refer to a single value in the bar. So what I'm going to do is actually come over here, and I'm going to right-click on column D. I bet you this is a two-finger click on a Mac, and I'm going to insert a column, and I'm going to make this the midpoint. And we've chatted about this in class. We're actually going to use the middle because it's going to result in our answers being off the least. So from 40 to 49, we're going to go halfway in between, which if I'm doing the math in my head right, is 44 and a half, then 54 and a half, then 64 and a half. Excel's kind of cool. It actually will recognize that pattern and pull it all the way down for you. Although I'm going to stop right there because this last one, it's a little bit weird. 90 to 100 actually has 11 data points in it, not 10. So the halfway there would actually be 95. Of course, if you used 94 and a half, you wouldn't be off by that much. So those are the actual midpoints of the ranges that we have down here in the histogram. So if you wanted to refer to the mode is in this bar right here. But if we had to call it a single value, we would call it 74 and a half. Okay, no problem there. The median. We can actually do the median kind of the same way that we did it in class. We can come over here and grab the snipping tool and take a picture of this. And then we can actually do the crossouts, right? So we're going to start, let's see. In the interest of time, and to keep this video short, I'm going to cross a lot off at once. So there's 3 here and 5 here. I'm going to cross all 8 of those off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That would mean I'd have to cross off all 7 of these highest ones plus 1 of these 8. That's going to knock this down to 7. And then I'm going to cross off all 6 of these. And then I'm going to cross off 6 of these 7, leaving 1 behind. And hopefully you can see where this is going. Apologies for my kindergarten-like writing with my mouse. You're going to cross off that remaining 1. and one of these 9s, leaving 8 behind, which means that whatever's left, median-wise, is going to be in that bar, which is the 74.5 bar. So once again, the median and the mode, we can actually cross this off, the median and the mode are both 74.5, depending on whether you look at the geographic middle of the data or whether you look at the most frequently occurring data point. The average is the interesting one. This is the one that's kind of hard to, with any precision, get a value for without a calculation. In class, we talked about it being the balance point. So if you were the saucy waiter, where would you have to stand to balance the data? So what I'll often do, trying to reason through this, is I'll place the saucy waiter kind of where I think the middle of the bell is going to be, and then shift the saucy waiter left or right, depending on where the weight of the data appears to be. Now, in this case, it looks like the waiter would have to move to the right, but it's hard to know like how far. Like, would it be like a little bit into this bar? Would it be a whole bunch into this bar? I don't know. So that's what we're going to do the calculation. So what we're going to do is we're going to add another column over here called midpoint times frequency. And this is going to allow us to actually add the data points up without having to actually add the data points up. So we're going to do the midpoint times its individual frequency, and then we're going to drag that all the way down. And then if we were to add this up, which I'll use with the sum command, equals sum of all these data points, that tells us that there are 2,804.5 points in total earned on these exams. So of all the exams, that's how many total points the kiddos earned. Well, to get the average, we have to take those points and spread them equally over all of the kiddos. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to pull this formula backwards over to here, and that tells us that there are 38 students who earned 2,804.5 total points. Make that fit better. And I want to try to spell points without an M and with an N. That might be a good start. There we go. All right. So to get the average of our data, my God, spell, Sean. To get that average, we are going to take all those total points and we are going to divide them by all those total students. So the 2,800 divided by the 38. And that tells us that our average is just about 74. It's a little bit below the mean and the median, or excuse me, the median and the mode. Not by much, though. Not by much, maybe a point. Which means our saucy waiter would be standing just a little bit left of middle in that bar. But, you know, when you need that level of precision, that's why you use the calculation. All right. I hope that helped, and we'll talk to you soon.